This HD can't be this good, you see the bags under my eyes. Hey team, Brian Buckosh here, core design engineer with Brunswick Bowling, and today I'm excited to announce the newest release in the Columbia 300 lineup, the Command Solid, which features the movement core. Let's take it to the intro. I was very pleased with how the original Command turned out, both in overall ball motion and in fan reception, because that was the first core that I ever designed as a member of Team Brunswick. And that core, known as the movement core, is back again, this time in the Command Solid. That core has a total differential of 0.053 and an intermediate differential of 0.021. What that means is that ball is going to have plenty of flare potential, and the high intermediate differential means that it's going to have plenty of kick at the back of the lane. This core, of course, is wrapped in dynamic core. That's the blue stuff that you see in the outer core when you drill into it. Because of the high strength to weight ratio of this dynamic core material, that means you're going to transfer more energy to the pins at impact. And of course, this movement core system is surrounded by the Angular Reaction System Solid cover stock. You remember the Angular Reaction System base name as the original cover that was found on the original Command Pearl. And now here in the solid formulation, this ball offers a ton more hook than the original Command, but still gets you through the fronts very well for a solid ball. Although it's aggressively sanded at 500-1500, I think users are going to be pleasantly surprised to see this one get through the fronts fairly well for an aggressive big asymmetrical solid ball before making a hard response to friction and continuing at the back of the lane. So without wasting any more time, I'm going to take you straight to the comparison chart and show you how this new Command Solid stacks up with the rest of the Columbia 300 lineup. This chart contains every release in the Columbia 300 lineup for an entire year. They're sorted by oil volume on the bottom, from lightest on the left to heaviest on the right, and by response to friction on the y-axis, with the sharpest balls toward the top of the chart and the most smooth balls toward the bottom of the chart. Our newest release, Command Solid, is highlighted in yellow. The Command Solid is built to handle a heavy amount of total oil volume and sits squarely in the strong category of ball motion. Although the Authority Solid and the Command Solid cover a similar amount of total boards, you'll notice that the Command Solid gets easily a couple feet further down the lane before making a harder response to friction in the late mid lane. The Command Solid continues well off of the friction and is more suited to opening up your launch angles, whereas the aggressively sanded Authority cover read the mids very early and tended to smooth out the ball motion at the back of the lane. The Authority Solid was best suited for heavy patterns and flat patterns when you had to keep your angles closed and keep the line a little tighter to the pocket. The Command Solid will shine a little better with patterns with a slightly higher ratio, a little more taper, or a little more dry to the right, even though there's a big puddle in the middle. And I feel like that's incredibly useful on a lot of the flooded house shots that you see where the outsides are still fairly dry. Because of this, I think the Command Solid is a slightly more versatile ball. I think you'll also be able to use this ball on some medium light conditions, when the heads are still holding up nicely, but there's a little more friction in the mid lane. You'll be able to step in, make sure you find plenty of fresh head oil to get the Command Solid through the fronts and around the corner with ease. Whereas some of the other big asymmetrical solids in a lot of companies' lineups tend to read the mid lane too early, even on that fresher medium stuff, and quit a little at the back of the lane. I think you could easily have both a Command Solid and an Authority Solid in your bag, especially if you're a high speed or low rev player who benefits from strong asymmetrical equipment. With different surfaces or different layouts, you can easily separate these two, and if you sand the Command Solid aggressively, that could easily be the strongest ball in the history of the Columbia 300 lineup. With one, if not both of these strong asymmetrical solids at the top of your bag, it's easy to transition down to the other balls in the Columbia 300 lineup when you start to see some friction, and these two are hooking too early or just too much overall. If you need to get through the heads better with a little more angle at the back of the lane, then the dynamic swing or the Command is your ticket. If you need to smooth out the back end motion but still make sure the ball reads early enough and firm enough, then the Outlook Solid is going to be your go-to. And of course, when these balls are too early or too strong overall for the pattern you're bowling on, then the Dynamic Swing Pearl and the Beast will round out your bag perfectly. Thanks for listening to me ramble. That's all the information I have on the new Command Solid that's available everywhere in pro shops worldwide beginning July 30th. Make sure you pick one up because this one is versatile and strong. While you're here, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube and Facebook pages, Bowling Buckosh. Drop a comment below, I'm happy to respond. And of course, I make new videos as new releases from the brands of Brunswick come out, so make sure you check back often. Until next time, thanks for watching.